welcome to Blue Jays Today, where today we're going to be giving our post-game reaction on a kind of disappointing and very interesting game the Toronto Blue Jays has played against the St. Louis Cardinals. This one is brought to you by Betway in partnership with iGaming Ontario. Must be 19 years or older to play, and please gamble responsibly. Bet the responsible way. So first things first, Nick. The Blue Jays lost, like we know, but it was in a very interesting fashion. Right off the top, you had Kevin Gausman, being dominant on one end of the ball, and then you had Jack Flaherty not looking like he could pitch a single strike on the other end.
It was so weird, man, because when this game started, 2 innings, even 3 innings in, I was so convinced that this was Blue Jays ball the entire time, just based on the way that the starting pitchers came out and looked. Flaherty didn't have it. And when you look at his finishing stat line, it's insane. Didn't give up a single run either. So absolutely, just mind-boggling there from Jack Flaherty. And when you were watching these Blue Jays batters, the patience was impeccable. But it almost got to a point where everyone went up to the plate thinking, I got to be patient, I got to take my walk, I got to do this. That when it did come time to get the hit or to make the play or to do something, to drive one and score a run, no one was in the right mindset to do that.
Well, it could be, and I agree with you, it could be a bit of factor of that as well. But I also think as well, straight up, Jack Flaherty is a great player. He's been dealing with injury the last few seasons, but when he first came up, he looked like he was going to be a dominant ace. And his stuff plays really well when it's on the edges,
right? When
it's in the strike zone, when he's challenging hitters. But the thing was, he gave up so many walks, but then when it came time to challenge hitters, and hitters got themselves out because his stuff was just too damn dominant.
Yeah, no, I mean, when he was finding the zone, when he actually was finding the zone, credit where credit is due, Jack Flaherty was painting pretty perfectly. The pitches were absolutely top tier when they were in the zone or close to it. A lot of his misses were big, they were blatant, and people got on accordingly. The hitting obviously just was not there for the Blue Jays. It was for the St. Louis Cardinals. It's keeping on the train of pitchers. Different stat line for Kevin Gausman.
Yeah.
Not a lot of walks. A crap load of hits that he gave up, man. So he gave up 8 hits in 6 innings. Wow. He actually didn't give up a single earned run, though, because the runs, they came in off of a Matt Chapman error, which is not something that you see every day. That's definitely a weird one.
No, and Matt Chapman obviously wasn't a Gold Glover last year, and we all have high hopes for Matt Chapman to do well this season. I don't think that this error is definitely be costly or make me change the way I think of him, but it is unfortunate. For those who missed it, the play was ground ball to Matt Chapman, could not come up with the clutch with the grip of the baseball. Runner at first, trying to go to second, so he wanted to go to second, but because he didn't have a grip, runner already beat him there. Then he goes to second, wasn't able to make a good throw, and Vladdy, he wasn't able to get the ball, could not reach it. So the infield defense for the Blue Jays, you have Bo Bichette on Thursday not looking good. Chapman with some questionable stuff. Vladdy couldn't come up with a pick at one point at this Jordan Walker RBI. You can see it in the thumbnail here. Yeah. Is that concerning to you? I know we're talking all this defense and stuff, but defense is supposed to be one of our strengths.
A little bit. Just because Bo Bichette is obviously going to be always kind of a factor for concern. I'm not worried about Matt Chapman in the slightest. I mean, one error is nothing. It just so happened that it happened in a really costly moment, and then, the microscope goes on it.
Right.
If no runs would have come around, we wouldn't be talking about this. It'd be nothing, right?
We actually probably would have won the game.
Exactly. So that is just kind of under a microscope. I'm not concerned there. I'm not concerned about Guerrero, but it's just I guess it sucks to start out this way when the entire offseason really felt like this is what we're focusing on. Defense is going to be our strength. We're going to be making plays that we weren't capable of making before. And so far, that just hasn't been the foot that we've gotten out on. The outfield, really
amazing.
Good. Really
and I'll even say Arenado wasn't an error today, but he did botch a ball. So even Arenado, the great Arenado, 10 Gold Gloves.
Yeah, exactly. It does happen, right? So no, I'm not going to press the panic button yet, but I would have preferred us to come out a little bit better in that regard. Talking a little bit more about the hitting side of things, starting out with the lineup, The lineup's pretty good, and I like a lot of where it's at. But I think that some questions can be asked about Kevin Biggio in that 8 spot.
Right.
Espinal has yet to see an AB. And I get it. You know, you want to try everybody else. Maybe this is like a matchup thing, maybe whatever. But there was a moment there in the game where Kevin Biggio came up to the plate. I think it was in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
2 people were on base. This was a moment where a hit would have tied.
Yes.
If you would have had somebody come in and you would have had a hit, the game would have been tied. Biggio, up to that point, hadn't really looked great in the game so far. Hadn't really looked like, you know, he was dominant or anything like that. But he stayed in, and then he ended up grounding out to Paul Goldschmidt.
Yeah.
Is that a moment there where maybe Schneider could have done something a little differently?
I think so, man. There's only so many moments in a game you get an opportunity to pinch hit. I said it during the live stream, bro. You have 3 second basemen. Mm-hmm. So there's no worry about defensive replacement. In fact, the other 2 have better outs above average than Kevin Biggio at second base. So with that being said, Kevin Biggio isn't one of our better bats. You have Kirk on the bench. He's available. You have Espinal off the bench. He's available. Yeah. Now, maybe you don't want to put Espinal in because, it's his first AB of the season. Maybe you want to get him warmed up, get him a start maybe tomorrow. Wouldn't be surprised, by the way, if he gets start tomorrow. Maybe that's what they're trying to do.
Sure.
But Alejandro Kirk, there's 2 outs. You need a base hit. You put him in, then guess what? You could take him out. Put in Espinal, the better defender. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense to me. There's just little missed opportunities. Now, it probably wouldn't have cost us anything.
Right. Well, we don't know.
Unless he came through with a big hit. But that's the thing, man. Like, these are the opportunities where, look, we don't know what's going to happen, but all I can do as a manager is put the best odds out there on the field. And that wasn't the best odds, leaving Kevin Biggio in the game.
I tend to agree with you, man. And, like, again, this is not like a total bashing session of Schneider here in the slightest. Like, this is one minute thing. And, frankly, when we look at this game, this is on the offense, right?
Yes,
like, the fact that you can't win a game with 3 hits to the opposing team's 10 just isn't going to happen. So I totally, want to put that blame over there. The whole lineup as a whole really did go silent today, but I do think that moving forward, I want to see less of Kevin Biggio, and I want to see more of Santiago Espinal and Whit Merrifield and Alejandro Kirk in those clutch situations. Yeah. I just feel like he's the guy, man. So
I want to see a ability from Schneider to hook him, because I don't know their personal relationship, but all I've heard out of camp and out of the Blue Jays dugout is in the clubhouse is he loves Kevin Biggio.
Totally.
And I get that. You love him, but you got to think about what's best for the team. And hopefully, further down the line, he does that.
I agree. Now, to comment on a few of the comments in the chat right now, we're getting a lot of people coming in and saying, hey, it's game 2. And I totally agree. Totally. No overreactions here at all, guys. No. Like, literally none at all. This is baseball. This is why you play the game. Some days, bats are going to be cold. It is too bad that they were cold today, especially when Jack Flaherty came out, didn't look like he had it, and Kevin Gausman did look like he had it. And this is something that Kevin Gausman's consistently been dealing with, last year especially, where he comes out, he pitches a relative gem, a pretty quality start, and the bats just don't seem to want to be alive when he's on the mound.
Yeah, he had one of the lowest run supports. He had the worst win-loss record outside of Kikuchi.
Yeah,
and Burrios had a better win-loss record than Kevin Gausman. So I don't really know who to blame. Like, how does this keep happening for Kevin Gausman? It's obviously just luck. It's just a coincidence.
Just coincidence.
But it is unfortunate because Kevin Gausman, he deserves that win today, and he gets his first loss.
Exactly, right. And it's games like this that when you look back on the series and whatever, and it's like, how did we end up losing 2 of those after we won the first one, and whatever. Like, it's games like this where it's we have to win when our starter's putting up a quality outing, right? It's like, that's what you want to do, and we don't know what we're gonna get out of Burrios and Kikuchi and everything like that. He only gave up, he didn't give up any himself.
He didn't give up any.
But for the longest time, this game was 3-0.
Exactly.
3 runs is not a lot, especially for the Toronto Blue Jays offense. So I'm really hoping that moving forward, they will continue to do better.
And I'm hoping they're ready to hit, because it was a weird one today with Flaherty giving up all those walks. So they got to get ready to get in the box. Even though Flaherty's a good pitcher, you got to get ready to hit, man.
100%. Let's look ahead to tomorrow's game, guys, which we are going to be live for on this channel. So definitely make sure, mark it in your calendars. We'll be live at 2 tomorrow, watching the game along with y'all. We do have Chris Bassett on the bump. Who do they have?
They've got Jordan Montgomery on the bump, too.
He's actually pretty good.
And he's a good pitcher, for sure. No doubt about it. I am still going to lean a little bit towards the Jays just because I think I like Bassett's veteranness on the mound. I'm going to lean it. I really can't go anyway, man. Again, today, no exception. The teams were evenly matched.
Yeah.
You know, there was a lot of opportunities for both sides. And I think it's really anyone's game. If we leave this series with a loss, like a series loss, it's going to be unfortunate. But, you know, we got some good matchups coming up ahead with Kansas City, Detroit, and I believe another team, LA Angels, where we could probably take a few there.
Well, I'll tell you what. There's no way that we were going to sweep the St. Louis Cardinals in St. Louis. It was not going to happen, guys. So, I mean, we were getting a little greedy after that. Yeah. This is kind of what to be expected. We went 1-1 right now. These pitchers are very even. They're very even, so it does come down to what Toronto Blue Jays lineup are we going to see tomorrow? Is it the lineup that we saw on Thursday that was able to hit everything and just do whatever they want to do, play that small ball game, everyone's passing the baton, moving the sticks, everything like that? Or are we going to see what we saw today where we're, you know, kind of on our heels right now? We're taking what's given to us, but we're not able to add that extra element of aggression.
And this is what and someone brought up in the stream today. This is what we saw a lot from the Blue Jays last year. Some games, explosions.
Right.
Some games, silent. And it's the consistency. Someone said that the St. Louis Cardinals have consistency.
They do.
They showed it. They showed up yesterday, or Thursday, excuse me.
Yeah.
They showed up today. I guarantee they're going to show up tomorrow.
Yep.
So if we can show up more than them, then we'll win.
I agree, man. It definitely does come down to the offense. Good news for the Blue Jays is that bullpen is relatively rested.
Yes.
So we should have a lot of our top tier dudes coming out in case we need them tomorrow.
Guys, let us know all your thoughts in the comments down below about this series. I know we got a lot of thoughts right here in the chat. Seeing the Cardinals are not great. Interesting.
Disagree.
I think they're probably one of the better teams in the MLB.
Good team, guys.
But guys, please make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because again, we are going to go live, like Nick said a little bit earlier, tomorrow, and for our first ever Blue Jays Today show that's going to be premiering for the 4th season. So let's go. Let's go,
guys. Thanks so much for watching, everybody.
And as always,
go Jays, go.